U.S. involvement in World War I, 1917 to 1918. World War I began as a European conflict. Eventually, virtually every country in Europe was drawn into the war. It wouldn't be until later that the United States would be drawn into the war itself. This video discusses the circumstances that led to U.S. involvement. Reasons for U.S. entry. Propaganda. Yellow journalism in the United States greatly exaggerated stories of German aggression during the war. This led to growing negative attitudes towards Germany and even towards German Americans living in the United States. German U-boats practicing unrestricted submarine warfare were sinking any ships believed to be carrying war material for the Allies. Americans were shocked and outraged when a British passenger ship, the Lusitania, was destroyed by German U-boats, killing the passengers on board, some of whom were Americans. The Zimmermann telegram was correspondence sent to Mexico by Germany, asking Mexico to join them in the war effort. If they were to win, all the land lost by Mexico during the Mexican-American War would be returned to them. This outraged and shocked Americans, and the U.S. President, Woodrow Wilson, would soon ask Congress for a declaration of war against Germany. The Selective Service Act. The U.S. military was very small at the time and had few professional soldiers. As a result, President Wilson looked for a way to build the numbers of soldiers large enough to fight in the war. He did this with the Selective Service Act, which required young men of fighting age to serve in the U.S. military war effort. This was a draft used to build U.S. numbers of military soldiers. As a way to fund the war, Liberty bonds were issued, and Americans were encouraged to buy these bonds as a way to support the war effort. It was also a way for those who could not fight to support the war effort as well. Much of World War I was fought in the trenches, and many terrifying weapons were used during this war, and one of those was poisonous gas, mustard gas mainly. Soldiers caught without the protection of a gas mask would soon die an excruciating death. At the end of the war, Germany would be defeated, and President Wilson wanted to negotiate lasting peace. His plan was written out in what was known as the 14 Points. It was a failure as France and Britain only wanted to punish Germany for the war. The League of Nations was one of the 14 points. Wilson hoped that through the League of Nations, countries could come together and discuss their differences rather than fighting and going to war. This was also a failure as even the United States itself did not join the League.